Did you know that sumo wrestlers have an average lifespan 20 years shorter than the general population? Subscribe, and we'll start with 303 facts like these. Remote-controlled drift racing is truly epic. Pilots demonstrate their skills by controlling these tiny vehicles on challenging tracks. One of the most extreme roller coasters in the world is located in the Netherlands. Riders can control how extreme their ride is by turning the wings of their cart. I think I'd ride this one. Alex has created an incredible flight simulator in his home called Alex Air. This cabin has seats that belong to a real airplane and features a lighting and air conditioning system. Screens behind the windows can show videos of a list of airports, offering a realistic flight experience. On the surface of Mars, there is a crater that seems to smile, a curious image that has captured the attention of space explorers. I think it welcomes everyone. The company PH5 creates clothes that change color when exposed to UV rays. For example, a dress can transform from white to pink when in contact with sunlight. The solution for many women. A YouTube content creator takes characters from famous movies, like Home Alone, and integrates them into video game universes. The result is incredible, and you can see more on his channel. Sin Sexy holds one of the most impressive Guinness World Records. He managed to fit 7 carbon arrows through a keyhole. This cake perfectly captures what happened to the dinosaurs, showing the collision of a meteorite and its devastating impact. Now that's talent. The slightest change in the fuselage of an airplane can alter its aerodynamics. Watch how the plane behaves when a pilot sticks his hands out the window, in case you're still wondering why airplane windows don't open. Huskies have a double-layered coat, an inner and outer coat. While they shed daily, they shed their entire coat twice a year. Think carefully before adopting one. Walt Disney currently has the most Academy Awards. Disney won 26 Oscars throughout his career and was nominated a total of 59 times. The muscle of the species, Lampsilis ovata, uses its body as a lure to attract fish. Once a fish bites, the muscle releases its larvae, which grow and feed inside the fish. The ocean and its impressive things. In Japan, the largest gold bar in the world is found, weighing 551 pounds and worth approximately $15 million. The amazing thing is that anyone can touch it at the Toy Gold Mine theme park. Located in the Cascade Mountains in Washington, this cabin was built in 1930 as a fire lookout post. Today, it still stands thanks to a group of volunteers who maintain it. The tiny hairs on the head of this jumping spider allow it to float on water, preventing the surface tension from breaking, making it look like it is wearing a hat. Tridino is one of the world's largest radio-controlled vehicles, measuring 49 feet long and used in theater shows. Visitors from all over the world leave signs of their hometowns in this forest. Today, there are more than 100,000 signs installed, making it a colorful international meeting point. Multiculturalism and its benefits. The YouTube channel All Things Never Die is dedicated to restoring mechanical table games. Watch how they transform an old game into a completely renovated one after a week of hard work. The Cleaners is a live art installation in which a clean, white living room is suspended 23 feet high. Visitors launch mud balloons with a slingshot to dirty it. Russian farmer Nikifor Ivanov grows mini apples on his farm in Siberia. These pearl-sized apples have adapted to the extremely cold climate of the region. The best example of everything that temperatures can do. Aromatherapy brand Mythology has created a special powder to use before you flush. This powder forms a barrier that prevents bad smells, stains, and noises in the toilet. Oh my gosh, I think a lot of people would buy these. Thomas Weathers held the record for the longest nose, measuring 7.48 inches. I don't want to be near him when he sneezes. Some chefs have tattoos on the palm of their hand that they use to easily measure out portions of salt or spices. No spoons or scales required. No need, Mr. Chef. Recently, the world's population has surpassed 8 billion people. To visualize this number, an animation by Mirable Studios shows these people covering an area of 51 by 18 miles. This is how spiders go to the bathroom. Their poop can be white, brown, or dark gray. You never know with them. Yes, there are dog chiropractors offering adjustments and treatments to improve their physical well-being. These do not have a dog's life. Watch how drones are used to shoot seeds to reforest cleared or burned forests. An innovative and efficient way to restore nature. Lexi Walker has a birthmark on her face, which is the footprint of her twin sister Kiara, left during her time in their mother's womb. Before the pandemic, the most expensive plane ticket cost between $30,000 and $65,000. Offered by Etihad Airways, the service called The Residence included a small 3-bedroom apartment with unlimited food and drinks. How much will it cost now? You can now book a trip to space aboard the MS Voyager, a space balloon that takes you to the stratosphere with a 360-degree panoramic view. The ride takes 6 hours and costs $125,000. The infinity coffee tables use mirrors and lights to create a striking visual illusion of endless depth. Watch Valentine Deluc skim hot air balloons while doing speed lighting in Turkey. A beauty. In 2008, astronaut Takao Doi became the first person to throw a boomerang in space. Of course, he's Japanese. For the role of Fingers in the Merlina series, actor Victor Dorobantu's hand is made up and his arm covered with a blue sleeve that is erased in post-production. Once again, the magic of cinema. Panama has the second largest free trade zone in the world. The Colon Free Zone, located near the city of Colon on the Caribbean coast of Panama, occupies more than 1,000 hectares and is considered an important international trade center. Created in 1948, the FTZ offers a wide range of duty-free products such as electronics, clothing, cosmetics, jewelry, and much more. Qatar is one of the few places in the Middle East where foreigners can buy property as full owners. This huge real estate development includes luxury residences, high-end shops, and marinas. The National Library of Spain, founded in 1712, is one of the most important libraries in the country. However, few know that it houses the most complete collection of works in the Spanish language, including more than 30 million materials such as books, manuscripts, and prints, as well as a special room dedicated to banned works. The Madrid Metro, opened in 1919, is the oldest in Spain and one of the most extensive in the world. It is often said to have more stations than the famous London Underground, and its network has grown steadily to serve millions of passengers every day. The country with the highest consumption of Coca-Cola on the planet is Mexico. This country is the largest consumer of soft drinks in the world, with an average of 163 liters per person per year. Furthermore, Chiapas is the region of Mexico that consumes the most Coca-Cola compared to the entire planet. Detroit is the most dangerous city in the United States, with 1,988 murders per 100,000 people. In contrast, Honolulu in Hawaii is the safest large city in the country, with only 230 crimes per 100,000 inhabitants. The famous rally driver Andreas Mikkelsen started at a late age. At 16, he began driving a car on the frozen lakes of Norway. Until then, the current Volkswagen driver had not been interested in four wheels, but in skiing, a sport he practiced professionally. After a knee injury, he had to stop skiing and began to take an interest in rallying. There are about 6,000 islands in Greece, making the Greek archipelago one of the largest in the world. France is the most visited country in the world and also has the most visited museum. Every year, about 10 million people visit the Louvre Museum, located in the heart of Paris. Siberia occupies 77% of Russia's surface area. The Siberian region occupies almost the entire surface of Russia, more than 8 million square miles. However, despite being the largest, Siberia has a very low population density, 3 inhabitants per square kilometer. Only 28% of Russians live there. Colombia is the second most biodiverse country in the world, after Brazil, despite being considerably smaller. It has the greatest diversity of birds and orchids on the planet and ranks second in diversity of butterflies and amphibians. Often referred to as the alien island, Socotra in Yemen has unique flora and fauna, including the famous dragon's blood tree. It is considered one of the strangest biological platforms on the planet, and almost a third of its flora is found nowhere else in the world. Russia is home to the longest railway line in the world, the famous Trans-Siberian, which runs for an impressive total of 5,759 miles. This is one of the great journeys we would like to take in the future. As a fun fact, if you get on in Moscow and don't get off until the last stop, the entire journey would take approximately 168 hours. That's 7 days of continuous travel. A real adventure on rails. Switzerland is one of the most expensive to live in. Demand for accommodation, attractions, and services drives up prices, especially in peak travel seasons. Increased demand allows companies to charge a premium, knowing that tourists are willing to pay for the unique experiences Switzerland offers. Switzerland is also world-renowned as the birthplace of luxury watchmaking, home to some of the most prestigious and admired watch brands. Brands such as Rolex, which was founded in 1905, is synonymous with precision and exclusivity. Others such as Patek Philippe, famous for producing extremely valuable and collectible watches. And even Tag Heuer, known for its high-precision sports watches and chronographs, is a brand closely associated with motor racing. China is the world's largest beer market, with an annual consumption of 45.7 billion liters, twice that of the United States and more than 5 times that of Germany. The tongue of polar bears is blue-black. This color is due to the high concentration of pigments and is a characteristic that helps absorb heat in its frozen environment. In the United Arab Emirates, there are people of more than 200 nationalities. Multiculturalism is one of the characteristics that best defines the country. In a population of nearly 10 million, only 11% are native Emiratis. The other 89% is made up of expatriates who live and work in the country without obtaining Emirati citizenship. Some of the most common foreign nationalities found among UAE residents are Indians at 27%, Pakistanis at 12%, and Bangladeshis at 7%. Although many people think of whales as just big hunters, their diet can vary. Blue whales feed primarily on krill, while humpback whales can eat small fish and shrimp. Cows have a range of vocalizations and sounds that they use to communicate with each other. Each cow can have its own cry that its fellow cows can recognize and use to locate each other. The longest tunnel in the world is the Gotthard Base Tunnel, a marvel of Swiss engineering. Opened in 2016, this impressive railway tunnel stretches 35.5 miles through the Swiss Alps, connecting northern and southern Europe more efficiently and quickly. Built over 17 years, the tunnel is not only the longest, but also one of the deepest, with a maximum depth of 7,545 feet beneath the mountains. Before becoming a soccer star, Angel Di Maria helped his family sell coal for heating. He even once said in an interview that he thanks football for getting him out of that hard life. Fana's origin dates back to World War II, when Germany stopped receiving cola concentrate to bottle soft drinks, and in order to keep the factory from stopping, they decided to create a drink made from natural apple and whey extracts called Fanta. Once the war was over, production stopped. But in 1955, they used the name Fanta, again in Italy, to name the new drink that is known today, based on the citrus flavor of orange, in keeping with Italian tradition. Zara models can only work for the brand for 1 week to maintain the variety of the catalog. In the different studios, Each model tries on around 15 outfits per day and takes around 100 photos with each item of clothing. One of the strangest details is that Zara does not invest in advertising or advertise in the press. Although it does have social networks, the sex of turtles is defined by temperature. Depending on the temperature in the environment where the turtles lay their eggs, they will be one sex or another. So if a turtle's eggs are incubated below 81 degrees Fahrenheit, they will be male, and if it is above 88 degrees Fahrenheit, they will be female. And those that range in between will be hermaphrodite turtles. Not everyone born in Hawaii is Hawaiian. One of the curiosities of Hawaii that shows that they preserve their identity is that to be a true Hawaiian, it is not enough to have been born there. No matter how many years a family has been there, they must be of local ethnicity to be considered Hawaiian. Those who do not meet this condition refer to themselves as locals. Machu Picchu is an earthquake-proof city. This ancient Incan city rests on two fault lines in Peru. That means that earthquakes were expected events. In fact, the Incas created a brilliant engineering technique called ashlar work, in which rocks are cut to fit together perfectly without mortar. This allowed the stones to be moved into place during an earthquake, before settling back into their original positions. Samsung did not start out as a technology giant. Founded in 1938, the company began as a food products trading business. Over time, it diversified into various industries, including textiles, construction, and eventually electronics. Some of the locations in the Harry Potter films were filmed in Oxford. Pavilions and libraries at the university were used to represent Hogwarts, and one of the most famous is the dining hall, which is actually the Christchurch Dining Hall. Barça, Real Madrid, and Athletic Club de Bilbao are the only ones to have never been relegated. The most embarrassing race in history was the 2005 United States Grand Prix, where there was a tire war, Michelin versus Bridgestone. Before the race, Michelin lobbied to include a chicane to reduce speed and minimize risk on the oval. Ultimately, it did not happen, and on the formation lap the next day, all the teams with Michelin shoes went into the pits and refused to participate. Only 6 cars, all Bridgestone, raced in that Grand Prix. Oxford University is one of the oldest universities in the world, with its origins dating back to the late 12th century. It is older than the Aztec Empire itself, which was founded in the early 14th century. Russian President Vladimir Putin is a judo practitioner and is known for his level of skill in this martial art. Over the years, he has been featured at judo-related events and has published books on the subject. DirecTV was founded in 1994 in the United States as a satellite television service. Since then, it has grown to become one of the largest satellite television providers in the world. Bhutan is the only country in the world that measures gross national happiness as an indicator of success instead of gross domestic product. This unique approach gives priority to the happiness and well-being of its citizens. In Brazil, there is an island called Ilha da Queimada Grande, also known as Snake Island. It is so infested with poisonous snakes that it is forbidden to visit it without special permission. Located between Jordan and Israel, the Dead Sea is one of the saltiest bodies of water in the world, with salinity that is almost 10 times that of the oceans. It is also the lowest point on Earth, at more than 1,410 feet below sea level. The Eye of the Sahara, also known as the Risha structure in Mauritania, is a circular geological formation in the middle of the Sahara Desert that resembles a giant eye seen from space. Its origin is a mystery, and its structure is so large that it stretches for about 24.85 miles. In New Zealand, there are lighthouses painted in black and white, but the Cape Campbell Lighthouse is unique for its red and white striped pattern, making it visible during the day, in addition to the night. The Roe River in Montana, United States, is the shortest river in the world, at just 61 meters long. Located in Ethiopia, Erta Ale is one of the few volcanoes in the world with an active lava lake, which has been bubbling constantly since 1906. The Greyhound is the fastest breed of dog in the world, capable of reaching speeds of up to 44 miles per hour. The Pando, a clone of quaking aspen trees in Utah, USA, are one of the oldest and heaviest plant colonies in the world. They are estimated to be over 80,000 years old and cover over 100 acres. The Cullinan diamond is the largest diamond ever discovered, weighing 3,106 carats. In Montreal, Canada, there is an extensive underground city called La Ville Souterraine that connects shopping malls, hotels, subway stations, and office buildings, allowing people to move around comfortably during the cold winter. The Ojos del Salado, on the border between Chile and Argentina, is the highest active volcano in the world, with a height of 22,614 feet above sea level. In the middle of the Indian Ocean, there is a small island known to be the most dangerous island in the world. Called North Sentinel, it has remained isolated from the world for thousands of years, where its inhabitants have rejected all outside contact. But the danger comes when you try to get close to them, as they see it as an insult and defend their territory with bows and arrows. Over the years, there have been several attempts to contact the Sentinelese, all with disastrous results. In 2021, John Allen Chow, an American evangelical missionary, was killed by the Sentinelese after his illegal trip to the island where he tried to convert the tribe to Christianity. Sudan is the country with the most pyramids in the world, and not Egypt, as you might think. In Nubia, a region of Sudan, there are 255 pyramids, although they are not as visited as the Egyptian ones. This is because the Nubian pharaohs fled to Sudan and formed the Kushite kingdom, incorporating Egyptian culture into this new city. They built dozens of steep pyramids made of sandstone and granite, between 6 and 30 meters high, between the years 1070 and 350 BC. Chanel made the most expensive advertisement in the world. In 2004, the famous perfume brand spent no less than $33 million on an advertisement with which they intended to renew their image. The famous spot had Nicole Kidman as the protagonist and Baz Luhrmann as the director, something that undoubtedly contributed to the large budget. Octopuses can open jars because they have a great capacity to manipulate objects with their tentacles, which are more flexible than human hands. If you were to join all the veins in an average human body, they would measure more than 59,651 miles in length. Surprisingly, this length is enough to go around the world more than twice. There is a computer that works based on water drops. A team at Stanford University has a computer where its bits work based on water drops, and it does all the tasks of a normal PC, but a little slower. The television series American Chopper played a pivotal role in popularizing chopper motorcycles during the 2000s. Airing on the Discovery Channel, the show followed the activities of Orange County Choppers, a motorcycle workshop in New York, where the protagonists, Paul Tootle Sr. and his son, Paul Tootle Jr., became famous for designing and building unique and extravagant motorcycles. The Abarth 695 Tributo Ferrari is a special model that pays homage to the legendary Ferrari brand. Launched in 2010, this vehicle combines the sporting heritage of Abarth with the sophistication and prestige of Ferrari. Victoria's Secret was founded in 1977 by Roy Raymond, who wanted to create a comfortable environment for men to shop for lingerie. The name Victoria's Secret is a reference to Queen Victoria and the idea of lingerie secrets. However, in 1982, Raymond sold the company to Leslie Wexner, founder of L Brands, who expanded the brand to a mass level, making it one of the most recognized lingerie companies in the world. Did you know that there is a tea grown in the surroundings of the Himalayas? In the high mountains of the Himalayas, there is a treasure of flavor and aroma known as the champagne of teas, Darjeeling tea. The tea fields of Darjeeling extend along the steep mountain slopes, creating a spectacular view. The altitude, fertile soil, and unique climate contribute to the exceptional quality of Darjeeling tea. Santa Cruz de la Slote Island, located in the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Colombia, is recognized as the most densely populated island in the world. Despite being only about 1.2 hectares in size, approximately 2 football fields, it is home to about 500 people, with a population density exceeding 41,000 inhabitants per square kilometer. The actress who has earned the most money for a single film is Scarlett Johansson. Her performance in Avengers Endgame led to her earning a record amount. This film became the second highest grossing film of all time, grossing more than $2,798 million worldwide. Thanks to this, Scarlett Johansson's total earnings for her role as Black Widow exceeded $56 million from this film alone. The upside-down house in Poland, known as Dom do Góry Nogami, is a peculiar tourist attraction that was built in 2007 by Polish businessman Daniel Czapiewski. The house is literally upside down. The ceiling is on the floor, and the floor is on the ceiling. The furniture, appliances, and interior decoration are also mounted upside down, causing a feeling of disorientation in visitors. Crocodiles can survive long periods without eating, sometimes up to a year. This is due to their slow metabolism, which allows them to store energy. If there was a man who died of laughter, it was a Greek philosopher known for his great contributions to Stoicism. Called Chrysippus of Solos, he was known for his great sense of humor, which it is said became so extreme that he literally died of laughter. The shares of Berkshire Hathaway, the company run by Warren Buffett, are the most expensive in the world. By not splitting the shares, its price has reached over $500,000 per share, making it one of the most exclusive investments. Domestic cats share 95.6% of their genetic code with tigers. This surprising genetic similarity is reflected in some behaviors, such as marking territory and stalking their prey, which are common behaviors in both felines. The Nap of Hower House, located on the island of Papa Westray in the Orkneys, Scotland, is considered the oldest house still standing, dating back to approximately 3,500 BC. Byron Slinker has the world's widest tongue, measuring 8.6 centimeters, the same size as a credit card. This record is one of the strangest in the world. The famous basketball player and great three-point shooter Stephen Curry is a passionate golfer and regularly participates in charity golf tournaments. He has shared the course with great figures in the sport and has mentioned that if he were not a basketball player, he would love to be a professional golfer. The traditional tattoo art among the Maori of New Zealand is known as moko if it is on the face, and tomoko for the rest of the body. These tattoos are not just ornaments, but tell the life story and social status of the wearer. Steve Jobs bought Pixar from Lucasfilm for $10 million in 1986, before it became the animation giant we all know today. He eventually sold Pixar to Disney for $7.4 million in stock, making Jobs the largest individual shareholder in Disney. Full flight simulators used by airlines to train their pilots replicate every detail of aircraft, including movements, controls, and real-time data. They can cost between $10 and $20 million each. Held in Munich, the Oktoberfest is the largest beer festival in the world. It began in 1810 to celebrate the marriage of Prince Ludwig of Bavaria and Princess Therese von Sachsen-Hildburghausen. During this festival, 6.7 million liters of beer are consumed, and although it is called Oktoberfest, it is celebrated in September. The first university in the world was the University of Al-Qarawiyyin in Fez, Morocco, which was founded in 859 by Fatima Alfieri. It is recognized by UNESCO and the Guinness Book of Records as the oldest continuously operating university in the world. The purpose of the Amazon arrow is not only to represent a smile, but also by joining the letters A and Z. The company refers to the infinite number of products they have and can sell. Luis Aragonés is the coach with the most games. No one has managed to surpass Luis Aragonés, the Spanish coach who managed 757 games in the first division, most of them at Atlético de Madrid, which were 407 games. One of the saddest disasters in racing was the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1955. The takeoff of Pierre Lévesque's Mercedes 300 SLR on the main straight of La Sarthe caused the death of 84 people, including the French driver, and around 120 injured. His car became a fireball in the stands. The tragedy meant that Mercedes gave up racing for more than 3 decades. Mayweather founded his own strip club. The American boxer has so much money that he even owns a strip club in Las Vegas. In fact, that was where he went to celebrate after the fight against Conor McGregor. The oldest dog in the world lived to be 29.5 years old. Although the average lifespan of a dog is usually between 10 and 15 years. An Australian cattle dog, Bluey, survived to the ripe old age of 29.5 years and is the longest-lived dog in the world. The archer fish has an almost science fiction-like ability to shoot jets of water from its mouth to shoot down insects and other prey from above the water surface. It can shoot with great precision from several meters away. The Lacoste brand was founded in 1933 by tennis player René Lacoste, who was known by the nickname Crocodile. The logo design comes precisely from there, as he was called Crocodile because he once received a product made of crocodile skin. The longest time someone has held their breath underwater is more than 24.5 minutes. The world record for holding their breath underwater was achieved by Croatian Budimir Šobat on March 27, 2021, who held his breath for a total of 24 minutes and 37 seconds. A leaky faucet wastes more than 75 liters of water per day. A 5-minute shower uses between 95 and 190 liters of water. Every flush of the toilet uses between 7.5 and 26.5 liters of water, and washing our hands uses 3 liters. Edinburgh has more listed buildings than any other city in the world. Listed buildings are those that cannot be destroyed or altered because of their cultural significance. While Edinburgh has plenty of them, including the ornate beauty of Holyrood Palace, the Walter Scott Monument, and, most famously, Edinburgh Castle, which towers over the city from the top of the Royal Mile. More than 1 billion bottles of Scotch whiskey are sold each year. Whiskey is a popular drink at weddings and birthdays around the world. Many of the best Scotch whiskeys are aged between 12 and 21 years. Scotch whiskey is the nation's most exported product. The world's largest pyramid is not in Egypt, but in Mexico. The Great Pyramid of Cholula measures 450 meters by 450 meters and rises 55 meters above the plain, where construction began around 300 BC. 65% of the motorway sections in Germany have no speed limit. Normally, the recommended speed is 81 miles per hour unless otherwise indicated, so it is common to see cars speeding on the road. The Philippine flag is the only one in the world that indicates whether the country is at war. When a war breaks out, the colors of the upper and lower stripes are reversed, with the upper stripe becoming red and the lower stripe becoming blue. In Thailand, it is illegal to step on banknotes or coins because they bear the image of the king. It is a crime to disrespect the king or his family, which is punishable by 3 to 15 years in prison. Be careful if you drop a banknote on the ground. The world-famous Statue of Liberty has 7 rays on its crown, representing the 7 continents. In Asia, due to high fertility rates and the increasing number of women of reproductive age, the continent is expected to have almost 2 billion babies in the next 35 years. This will double the size of the population and its population under 18 will increase by 2/3 to almost 1 billion children. The Tonle Sap in Cambodia is one of only 2 rivers in the world that changes direction throughout the year. In the wet season, it flows from the Mekong to the north. In the dry season, it flows from the Tonle Sap Lake to the Mekong River. This is due to the abundance of rain in the wet season. This is probably one of the least surprising curiosities about the United States. 2/3 of Americans are overweight and half of them are obese. The oldest bar in the entire American continent is in the United States and was built in 1668 in New York, in a small town called Tappan. It is called the Old 76 House. The cheetah is the fastest animal in the world on land. An adult cheetah can reach a speed of between 74 miles per hour. They can only purr and cannot roar like lions and tigers. Canada has more lakes than the total lakes in the rest of the world. There are about 3 million lakes in the country. Another interesting fact is that Canada is home to 20% of the world's freshwater reserves. Dutch men are the tallest in the world. Men have an average height of 5.97 feet. Women are second with a height of 5.54. Studies show that this is not only due to Dutch DNA, but also to external factors such as low inequality, good health care, and a diet with a high consumption of dairy products. The famous logo of the Columbia Pictures brand was illustrated under the image of an American housewife named Johnny Joseph in 1992. We have all been able to imagine that the image was chosen from a model, but we were wrong. The Maldives is the smallest country in the Asian continent, an archipelago of 1,200 islands, of which only 200 are inhabited. It has an area of 298 square kilometers and a population of 540,542 inhabitants. The Kit Kat logo has been practically the same since 1935, except for a brief period during World War II. At that time, the iconic red changed to blue to indicate that it was milk-free chocolate due to shortages. In many Asian countries, insects are considered a delicacy. In China, it is customary to eat scorpions, centipedes, silkworms, spiders, grasshoppers. To taste these foods, it is best to go to a local market. The Christ the Redeemer in Rio is one of the 7 new wonders of the world. It is located at a height of just over 2,296 feet above sea level. It is 124 feet high and weighs more than 1,000 tons. It was designed in France by Paul Landowski and was built to commemorate the 100 years of the independence of Brazil. It was transported from France in pieces and was taken to the top of Mount Corcovado by the Corcovado train. The tip of the thumb on the right hand is missing, having been destroyed by lightning in 2014. The Cocora Valley in Colombia has the tallest palm trees in the world. One of its most striking tourist attractions is in the Cocora Valley, where the tallest palm trees in the world grow, known as wax palms. They grow by the thousands and reach 197 feet high. Cocora is crossed by the Quindio River, located in the central mountain range of the Andes. The Jamaican flag is the only one in the world that does not have the colors white, blue, or red. It is green, yellow, and black. Cuba has more doctors than the UK. Surprisingly, the island has 9 doctors per 1,000 inhabitants, whereas in the UK there are 2.7 doctors per the same number of inhabitants. You will probably find a Cuban doctor in several countries around the world because there are 70,000 who have gone to work abroad, in 65 countries to be exact, due to the harsh circumstances in the country. A 16-year-old student designed the flag of the United States. Robert G. Heft, a 16-year-old student, created the design by cutting parts of an old flag belonging to his grandparents as an assignment for history class. The United States has the world's least populated capital city in proportion to the country. Only 0.21% of the country's population lives in the capital, Washington, the lowest percentage in the world behind Pakistan. In China, due to the country's high population, the government created a law that determines that each couple can only have one child. This law was in force in the country between 1980 and 2015. Currently, Chinese law allows each family to have up to 3 children. In the Maldives, dogs are prohibited. For Muslims, dogs are considered unclean animals due to an infection that a dog caused to Muhammad according to the Quran. In general, it is strange to see a devout Muslim with a dog, but in addition, in the Maldives, they are prohibited. What you will see on the local islands are lots of cute cats. The silhouette that appears on the NBA logo is Jerry West, legendary Lakers player who came close to never winning a championship. It wasn't until his 9th appearance in a championship series that he won the NBA title. Ecuador has the highest constitutional capital in the world. Quito is the capital of Ecuador, although not its most populous city. In this case, we are talking about Guayaquil. However, Quito is the political and cultural center of Ecuador. The city is located at 9,350 feet above sea level, making it the highest official capital in the world. La Paz is located at 11,811 feet, but it is not the constitutional capital, but the seat of government. In this case, the constitutional capital of Bolivia is Sucre. The aye-aye, a rare primate from Madagascar, has an extremely long middle finger that it uses to tap tree trunks and listen to the echo in search of larvae, its main source of food. Venezuela is home to the world's highest waterfall. With an impressive height of 3,212 feet, Venezuela's Angel Falls proudly claims the title of the highest waterfall in the world. It is a majestic waterfall that will truly leave you in awe. Lisbon is older than Rome. The capital of Portugal is one of the oldest cities on the planet, second only to Athens in longevity across the entire European continent. In fact, if we compare it with Rome, the time difference does not go unnoticed, as Lisbon is 400 years older than the Italian capital. Lisbon also has the oldest and smallest bookstore in the world. Livraria Bertrand opened its first branch in Lisbon in 1732, and even today continues to distribute new branches in different parts of Portugal. It is the oldest bookstore on the planet, and its fame can only be compared to the beautiful Livraria Lelo in Porto or Livraria Simão, also in Lisbon, which stands out for its tiny dimensions of only 4 square meters. Ferrets can sleep 18 hours a day. However, try to keep them in a dark place, since while they rest, they replenish their melatonin levels, and it is not advisable to give them any light. Brussels International Airport in Belgium is the place in the world where the most chocolate is sold. This is also due to the fact that Belgium produces 220,000 tons of chocolate per year, which would be equivalent to 48.5 pounds for each Belgian. Ostriches are the largest birds in the world. They live in generally very arid areas, and the most striking thing about these birds is that they can reach a height of up to 9.18 feet and weigh between 198 and 330 pounds. The official currency of Croatia is named after a rodent. Croatian money is called kuna, which is also the word for the marten, a furry animal similar to a ferret, and is surprisingly adorable and not dangerous. Rhinoceros horns are not made of bone, but of keratin, the same material that makes up our nails and hair. This means that, although they look hard, they are relatively light. The game won by the largest difference in points in NBA history was on December 17, 1991, when the Cavaliers faced the Miami Heat with a final score of 148-80 in favor of the Cavaliers. The lion is the animal that has the most sexual activity in the world. It never tires speaking metaphorically. He can copulate about 100 times a day, and sometimes he does so with the same female. In addition, lions and lionesses can mate every 10 to 20 minutes a day for 5 to 7 days. Still, it should be noted that lions can take 6 to 9 cycles to become pregnant. The large Costanera Center Tower in Santiago, with an astonishing height of 64 floors, is the tallest building in South America. Since 1992, the import and sale of chewing gum in Singapore has been prohibited, except for therapeutic uses. This was done to keep the city clean and avoid maintenance problems in the train system. The Irish passport is very valuable as it allows you to travel visa-free to over 180 countries. This is especially remarkable given the size of the country. It is considered one of the most powerful in the world when it comes to freedom of travel. Flynn Rider's Look Entangled was designed during a hot men's meeting where the women of the studio selected their favorite physical attributes from photos of Hollywood stars. In the city of Yamoussoukro, the capital of the Ivory Coast, lies one of the most intriguing and sacred spots in the country, the lake at the Presidential Palace, famous for its sacred crocodiles. These crocodiles, which are considered spiritual guardians, are revered by the local population and have deep cultural significance. These animals are said to be under the protection of mystical forces, and their presence in the palace symbolizes power and protection. Sweden has around 267,570 islands, more than any other country in the world. The Stockholm Archipelago, for example, features over 30,000 islands. The flag of the Dominican Republic is the only flag in the world where a Christian Bible is seen. It uniquely features an open Bible in the center, reflecting the deep Christian beliefs of its colonizers and invaders. The flag design featured contributions from prominent women such as Maria Trinidad Sanchez, Maria de Jesus Pina, Isabel Sosa, and Concepcion Bona. Some species of monkeys, such as macaques, are known to use tools. For example, they may use stones to crack nuts or sticks to extract insects from tree trunks. The world's first 7-star hotel is the Burj Al Arab, a stunning sailboat-shaped building considered one of the most luxurious hotels in the world. It is spectacular both inside and out. For example, the hotel's interiors are adorned with 24-karat gold leaf covering some 1,790 square meters. Toy Story 2 was made twice. When they were almost finished with the film, the computer crashed and lost 90% of the stored data. They had to redo the entire film, since the 10% of saved data was apparently useless without the previous base. There are more than 260 species of monkeys in the world, which are mainly divided into 2 large groups: New World monkeys and Old World monkeys. New World monkeys include species such as capuchins, marmosets, and sakis. One of the most distinctive characteristics of these monkeys is their prehensile tail, which allows them to grab and swing on tree branches like the spider monkey. On the other hand, Old World monkeys include species such as baboons, mandrills, and macaques. These monkeys do not have prehensile tails, and many of them spend more time on the ground than in trees. In Qatar, 85% of the population is not Qatari. This young Middle Eastern country is home to 2.8 million people, but only 250,000 are native Qataris. It has a mostly immigrant population made up of Arabs, Indians, Pakistanis, and Iranians, who came here attracted by the job creation in oil and gas. The most devastating earthquake in the world was the Shanxi earthquake, or the Hua County earthquake, which occurred in the Shanxi province located in China on the morning of January 23, 1556. It was one of the most devastating earthquakes in history and killed 830,000 people. Bolivia is a landlocked country in South America. This happened because of bad relations with Peru and a war with Chile where Bolivia lost territory. Bolivia today is a country that pays double tax to import any product by sea. New Zealand has the steepest residential area in the world. In New Zealand, Baldwin Street in Dunedin won the Guinness World Record with its 38-degree slope. The steep slope makes all the houses look like they are sunken into the ground. The tarantula can live up to 30 years. Leonardo DiCaprio didn't know how to swim when he made Titanic. When he read the script, he loved it, but was moved to reject it because there were so many Jack-in-the-Water scenes. Cameron explained to him that everything would be shot on a set and that the water would never actually reach his chest, so he wouldn't have to swim. In Israel, one day a year, the streets and roads are literally free of car traffic. On Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement in Jewish tradition, is a day of reflection and fasting. During this day, daily activities stopped, and many people refrained from using cars. Many species of whales migrate thousands of miles between their feeding and breeding areas. For example, humpback whales migrate from the cold waters of the Arctic to the warm coastal waters of places like Mexico and Hawaii. Portugal has the longest bridge in Europe. Known as the Vasco da Gama Bridge, the longest bridge in Europe was built for the 1988 Expo. Its spectacular dimensions, more than 7.4 miles long, make it impossible to see the end of the bridge on foggy days as you drive across it. Without a doubt, one of the most curious and striking architectural constructions in the country. The tallest and shortest players played on the same team. At 5.74 feet tall, Muggsy Bogues was the shortest player to ever play in the NBA. He was chosen by the Washington Bullets, where he shared a team with Manute Bol, who is 7.58 feet tall. In the town of Jukkasjärvi, located in Sweden, there is the world's first ice hotel, known as Ice Hotel. This hotel is rebuilt every winter with snow and ice from the Torne River. Monaco has the highest concentration of millionaires in the world. Hawaii is the state with the most animal species, although unfortunately many of them are in danger of extinction. It is estimated that 70% of the native birds in the region have already disappeared, and the few that remain are at risk of disappearing. Another of Hawaii's animal-related curiosities is that snakes are completely banned throughout the state. The reason is that they destroy native fauna. Therefore, unfortunately, the only place where they are allowed is in zoos. Although they cannot fly, ostriches are very fast birds. They can run at speeds of up to 43.5 miles per hour and maintain a constant pace of 31 miles per hour for longer distances. Ostrich eggs are the largest of any bird, with a diameter of approximately 5.9 inches and a weight that can exceed 3.3 pounds. A single egg is equivalent to approximately 24 chicken eggs. In the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, there is a natural gas crater known as the Gates of Hell. It was raised in 1971 to prevent the spread of toxic gases and has been burning ever since. The fire gives off a spectacular glow in the dark and is an unusual tourist destination. Movistar is a brand belonging to Telefonica, one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world, founded in Spain in 1924. The name Movistar was introduced in 1995 to represent its mobile services. The Melisani Cave in Greece is known for its beautiful blue water. The curious thing is that there is a part of the cave that has a hole in the roof where sunlight enters and creates a light show that highlights its vibrant color. The Salt Cathedral in Colombia is known for being carved out of a salt mine. The impressive thing is that it is located more than 656 feet underground and has sculptures, altars, and corridors made entirely of salt. The official language spoken in the country Madagascar is Malagasy, which is very different from continental African languages. It is a language of Austronesian origin, meaning it is more closely related to Indonesian and Pacific languages than African languages. Madagascar is home to several species of baobab trees, some of which are incredibly old, with parts of some trees believed to be over 1,000 years old. Their massive trunks are capable of storing water during droughts. Samsung has been known to run creative and occasionally provocative advertising campaigns, including direct comparisons to its technology competitors, which has sparked controversy and media attention. There is a tie for the podium of the players with the most appearances in the history of the Spanish Football League. Former Betis player Joaquin Sanchez equaled Zubizarreta's 622 appearances in his final La Liga game of 2022. The Basque goalkeeper had remained the player with the most appearances in the competition up to that point. The Phillip Island circuit in Australia is famous for its severe elevation changes and for being located next to the ocean, which offers spectacular views but can also be tricky due to strong winds that can affect motorcycles during the race. In Puerta del Sol in Spain, there is the Kilometer Zero, which is the reference point from which the distance of all radial roads in Spain is measured. This point is marked by a small tile with the coat of arms of Spain. A curiosity about Valentino Rossi is his nickname. Although he is known as Il Dottore, the doctor, Valentino does not have an academic degree. The nickname comes from his fascination with doctors and medical culture, as well as his desire to convey that he is a master at racing. Colombia is the rainiest country in the world. It collects 3.240 millimeters of rain per year. Its department of Chaco is the rainiest place in the world. In addition, there is constant rain throughout the year. Lisbon has the largest casino in Europe. The Casino de Estoril, located just half an hour by car from the city of Lisbon, is the largest casino in the entire European continent. Opened in 1916, the spectacular Temple of Gambling has more than 54,680 square meters of facilities dedicated to an endless number of different types of gambling. The meaning of the Ukrainian flag is very astonishing, since the blue of the Ukrainian flag represents the sky and the yellow represents the extensive wheat fields, since Ukraine is one of the largest exporters of the cereal in the world. Rome's famous fountain, Fontana di Trevi, is a money-making machine. In keeping with tradition, virtually everyone who approaches the fountain throws in 3 coins. On average, coins worth 3,000 euros are recovered by the end of the day, which amounts to 1.4 million euros a year. The government donates these funds to charities. Chile holds the Guinness World Record for the world's largest swimming pool. It is located at the San Alfonso del Mar Resort and stretches 20 Olympic-sized pools long, holding 250 million liters of water. Sweden is one of the world leaders in recycling and waste management. In fact, only 1% of Sweden's household waste ends up in a landfill. The rest is recycled or incinerated to generate energy. If we stick to the strict definition, the world's largest desert would be the Antarctic Desert. At almost 14 million square kilometers, no other desert comes close in this competition. The largest volcano in the world is Mauna Loa in Hawaii. Its total surface area is estimated to be around 46,602 square miles. Its altitude is 13,677 feet. A sad curiosity of the Maldives is that the country is sinking. As the flattest country in the world, its 1,192 islands are in danger of sinking. Increasingly eroded and with climate change causing ocean levels to rise, it is estimated that at the current rate, most of its islands will have sunk by the end of the century. The most educated country in the world is Canada. They are the kings of formal education, with at least 56% of the total population having obtained some qualification after high school. They are ahead of the Japanese, who are in second place in percentage points. Andorra, a small principality in the Pyrenees between France and Spain, has a 100% literacy rate, meaning all of its citizens are literate. Nintendo initially began as a modest playing card company in 1889, founded by Fusajiro Yamauchi in Kyoto, Japan. In its early years, it specialized in the production of Hanafuda cards used in traditional Japanese card games. In 1963, under the leadership of Hiroshi Yamauchi, the founder's grandson, Nintendo began to diversify its business. It was in the 1970s that Nintendo took its first big step into the world of video games with the creation of the color TV game arcade console. The oldest stock market in the world still in operation is the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, founded in 1602 by the Dutch East India Company. It was the first to offer company shares to investors. The National Spelling Bee in the United States, popularly known as the Spelling Bee, has evolved into a marquee event that captures the attention of viewers across the country. Some countries, such as Costa Rica, have adopted a unique policy by abolishing their active military and devoting those resources and energies to other priority areas such as education, health, and social development. A historic decision made in 1948. Wolfia globosa, also known as duckweed, is truly remarkable for being the smallest known plant in the natural world, ranging in size from a tiny 0.5 to 1.2 millimeters. The Hernando Siles Stadium in La Paz, Bolivia, is the highest altitude stadium in the world, located at some 12,000 feet above sea level. Siberian Huskies have a fascinating history that dates back to their breeding by the Chukchi tribe in Siberia, where they were bred to endure and thrive in some of the coldest climates in the world. These dogs were essential to the tribe's nomadic life, used primarily as sled dogs to transport cargo and people across vast expanses of frozen and snowy terrain. One of the Siberian Huskies' most notable features is their double coat of fur, specifically designed to deal with extreme weather conditions. Belgium's Rodenbach beer is truly unique in the beer world due to its distinctive brewing process and signature flavor. This traditional Belgian beer is notable for its use of red wheat, which plays a crucial role in the fermentation process and the final flavor profile of the product. The Fugaku supercomputer, located in Japan, is a technological marvel that has set new standards in the field of high-performance computing. With a capacity to perform over 442 petaflops, which equates to over 442 quadrillion operations per second, Fugaku has cemented its position as the world's fastest supercomputer since its launch. Before founding Amazon in 1994, Jeff Bezos had a notable career on Wall Street, where he worked as a senior vice president at D. Shaw & Co., an investment firm renowned for its focus on using algorithms and advanced technology for financial trading. The Louvre Museum is the largest and most visited art museum in the world. Located in Paris, France, it is home to highly famous works such as Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, the Venus de Milo, and the Winged Victory of Samothrace. It is estimated that by 2030, there will be more than 50 billion devices connected to the internet, from household appliances to vehicles and health devices. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival is truly an impressive cultural event that transforms the city every August. Founded in 1947 as an alternative to the Edinburgh International Festival, the Fringe has grown into the world's largest arts festival and an unrivaled celebration of creativity. Central Park, located in the heart of New York City, is larger than the country of Monaco. Spanning 842 acres, this iconic park surpasses the size of the Principality of Monaco, which has an area of approximately 500 acres. Aside from his world records in sprinting, Usain Bolt is a big fan of McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. During the 2008 Beijing Olympics, he was reported to have consumed close to 1,000 McNuggets during his stay at the Olympic Village. The Sydney Harbour Bridge, known locally as the Coat Hanger, meaning coat hanger due to its shape, is known as visitors can take part in the bridge climb experience, which allows them to climb the bridge's arch and enjoy spectacular panoramic views of the city and its famous harbor. It is also the widest steel arch bridge in the world and the sixth longest. The famous symbol of Wall Street, the bull, represents optimism and rising stock prices. The bull is said to have been adopted as a symbol after the 1987 crash to symbolize the rising market. Its presence in the New York cityscape as a towering bronze sculpture in front of the New York Stock Exchange has made the bull a globally recognized icon. Gardens by the Bay is a spectacular park in Singapore, known for its futuristic gardens and impressive tree-like structures, which are majestically illuminated at night. These structures, called super trees, reach heights of up to 164 feet. Although small, corgis were originally bred to herd livestock, especially cows. Their small size allowed them to dodge the cow's legs while working. The Cu Chi tunnels in Vietnam represent an impressive underground network that played a crucial role during the Vietnam War. They were used by the Viet Cong, i.e. South Vietnam, to move undetected by enemy forces and as a shelter from bombing and attack. Cleopatra was the only pharaoh to learn to speak Egyptian, and she was fluent in several languages, including Greek, Egyptian, Aramaic, and Latin. Unlike many of her Ptolemaic predecessors, who preferred to use Greek as the language of government, Cleopatra made a conscious effort to learn Egyptian, the native language of the country she ruled. Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland, is an iconic academic institution that houses the famous Book of Kells, a medieval illuminated manuscript that represents one of the island's most prized treasures. Created around 800 AD, this book contains the four Gospels of the New Testament, beautifully illustrated with intricate ornamental designs and vibrant colors. The Golden Raspberry Awards, known as the Razzies, are a parody of traditional film awards. They are awarded to the worst films, actors, and directors of the year, highlighting the worst in the film industry. Founded in 1981 by film critic John J.B. Wilson, another peculiarity of the Razzies is their ceremony, which is traditionally held one day before the Oscar ceremony as a sort of comedic counterpoint to the seriousness of the Academy Awards. Quito, known as the city in the middle of the world in Ecuador, is an iconic destination that celebrates the country's unique geography as the place where the equator runs through the earth. This historic and tourist site is located at the geographical center of the world, where visitors can experience the fascinating sensation of being simultaneously in the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. In 1975, two twins separated at birth, Jim Lewis and Jim Springer, were reunited at the age of 39. They discovered that they were both named Jim, were married to women named Linda, had divorced and remarried women named Betty, and had sons named James Allen and James Allen. The Stelvio Pass Road, located in the Italian Alps, is world famous for being one of the most spectacular and challenging mountain routes in the world. Known for its impressive 48 curves and a relatively short stretch, this road winds through stunning alpine landscapes, reaching an altitude of approximately 9,045 feet above sea level at its highest point. David Bowie made a brief but significant appearance in the comedy film Zoolander, where he played himself as a fashion judge in a scene that became one of the most memorable moments of the film. The scene where Bowie appears as a fashion judge focuses on a competition between the main characters, played by Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson, who play the role of male models. The Yungas Highway, also known as the Road of Death, is a legendary and feared route that winds through the mountains of Bolivia, connecting La Paz to the Yungas region. Its reputation as one of the most dangerous roads in the world is due to several shocking factors: its extreme narrowness, its sharp curves, and its dizzying drops that plunge into the abyss. In the film Good Will Hunting, Robin Williams demonstrated his exceptional improvisational skills by adding many memorable lines that were not in the original script. His role as therapist Sean Maguire allowed him to deeply explore the character's psychology, and Williams took advantage of that freedom to add personal touches that enriched the performance and the plot. The Prague astronomical clock, installed on the tower of the Old Town Hall in 1410, is considered the oldest continuously operating astronomical clock in the world. This clock not only tells the hours, but also offers a rich display of medieval engineering and art. Every hour on the hour, during the day, a mechanical show is activated depicting the parade of the 12 apostles, accompanied by allegorical figures of death. In 1997, Microsoft invested $150 million in non-preferred stock from Apple to help financially rescue the struggling company. This alliance surprised the tech world given the history of competition between the two companies. The Colosseum is the largest amphitheater ever built, recognized worldwide for its impressive size and historical significance in ancient Rome. In the bustling and fascinating environment of 16th century Venice, aristocratic women wore a distinctive and functional accessory known as the chopin. Chopins were raised platforms that could elevate women's feet as much as 20 inches off the ground or more, depending on the specific design. In a city like Venice, with its narrow streets and frequent flooding, chopins helped women keep their delicate clothing out of the mud and dirty water that often flooded public roads. Camminus, located in beautiful British Columbia, Canada, has gained international fame for its stunning artistic murals that adorn the walls of many buildings in the town. Los Angeles is the only city to have had the honor of hosting the Olympic Games twice in the same century, in 1932 and in 1984. The 1932 Los Angeles Olympics marked a significant milestone as they were the first to be profitable, despite the Great Depression gripping the world at the time. And the return of the Olympic Games to Los Angeles in 1984 was equally memorable as records were set in terms of attendance and fundraising. Sweden was the first country in the world to introduce a freedom of the press law in 1766. Theodore Roosevelt was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1906, making him the first American president to achieve this prestigious recognition. The East Side Gallery in Berlin is much more than an open-air art gallery. It is a historical and cultural monument that celebrates freedom and creativity. Situated along a preserved section of the Berlin Wall, this gallery spans 0.8 miles and features over 100 murals painted by artists from around the world. Emma Watson, renowned for her role in film and activism, founded a feminist book club in 2016. Through this club, she not only shares her passion for reading, but also uses her platform to recommend books that address feminist issues and to facilitate meaningful discussions about gender and women's rights. Schönbrunn Palace in Austria has witnessed the history of the Habsburg dynasty and has hosted notable emperors such as Maria Theresa. In addition, this palace features the oldest zoo in the world, the Tiergarten Schönbrunn, founded in 1752 by Emperor Francis I, as a private collection of animals. The Seoul Tower, located on Mount Namsan in Seoul, South Korea, is known for its distinctive silhouette and its importance as a cultural and tourist landmark, where visitors can participate in the tradition of love locks. These locks, placed in pairs as a symbol of eternal love, adorn the vicinity of the tower, creating a colorful and romantic landscape. Steve Jobs, known for his meticulous attention to detail, named the Macintosh computer after an Apple variety that was one of his favorites. Inspired by his love for the aesthetic design and functionality of simple, beautiful things, the name also has a deep personal meaning. Jobs chose it as a tribute to his newborn son, who came into the world months before the computer's official launch. The Royal Mile in Edinburgh is much more than a street. It is a historic artery that connects two of the city's most iconic landmarks, the imposing Edinburgh Castle and the majestic Palace of Holyrood House, and is approximately 1 mile long, hence its name. Louis Vuitton, renowned for its iconography and luxury fashion, began its journey as a trunk maker. Innovative from the start, Vuitton distinguished itself by designing flat trunks, a revolutionary innovation at the time, that were highly practical for transport, especially on boat trips, due to their ability to be efficiently stacked. The CN Tower in Toronto, Canada, is an architectural marvel that, with an impressive height of 1,814 feet, was the tallest structure in the world from its opening in 1976 until 2007, and even today remains one of Canada's most iconic attractions. The Doberman, one of the most recognizable dog breeds and appreciated for its loyalty and bravery, was developed by a German tax collector named Carl Friedrich Louis Doberman in the 1890s. Doberman, who was looking for a dog that could accompany and protect him during his nightly rounds as a tax collector, crossed several breeds including the Rottweiler, the German Pinscher, the Greyhound, and the Terrier, with the goal of creating a dog that was not only brave and strong, but also fast and agile. Australia holds the world record for the most venomous animals per square miles, including snakes, spiders, and jellyfish. It has venomous snakes such as the taipan and brown snake, venomous spiders such as the funnel-web spider, and venomous beach jellyfish such as the box jellyfish, whose venom can be extremely painful and even life-threatening. Steampunk is characterized by an eclectic mix of historical and fantasy elements. Steampunk fans often dress in clothing evoking Victorian elegance, such as period jackets, decorated vests, bow ties, and long skirts for women. The Imagine Peace Tower is a striking art installation located on the island of Viðey, just off the coast of Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. This monument was conceived by Yoko Ono, the celebrated artist and widow of John Lennon, as a tribute to the memory of her husband and a symbol of world peace. The tower was inaugurated on October 9, 2007, coinciding with John Lennon's birthday, and is lit every year from that date until December 8, the anniversary of his death. The most expensive advertisement in history was in 2005, when the cosmetics company L'Oreal paid approximately $10 million for a 30-second advertisement during the broadcast of the Super Bowl. India has 6 seasons instead of the traditional 4 seasons. In addition to summer, fall, winter, and spring, India recognizes the pre-monsoon, which spans the months of March through May, characterized by warm and often dry temperatures before the arrival of the monsoon rains, and the post-monsoon, which runs from October through December, marking the period after the monsoon rains. Jacques Chirac, who was president of France from 1995 to 2007, had a significant relationship with Holocaust memory, especially in the context of France's role during World War II. In a historic speech on July 16, 1995, Chirac became the first French president to officially acknowledge the responsibility of the French state in the deportation of Jews to Nazi death camps. The assassination of President William McKinley in 1901 marked a tragic moment in American history. On September 6, 1901, while McKinley was greeting visitors at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, he was shot by a disillusioned anarchist. Czolgosz had hidden a revolver inside a bundle of papers before shooting President McKinley at point-blank range. Czolgosz was sentenced to death and executed by electric chair less than 2 months after the assassination. Mount Rainier is a stunning mountain located in Washington State, United States, and is one of the most prominent and visually striking stratovolcanoes in the country. It rises to a height of 14,400 feet above sea level and is famous for its cap of glaciers that cover much of its surface. In the 1970s, the punk movement emerged as a radical and provocative counterculture that not only challenged established social norms, but also introduced a completely new and disruptive fashion. Bands such as the Sex Pistols, the Clash, and Ramones not only influenced punk fashion, but also defined its spirit of defiance and desire to change the status quo. The Brandenburg Gate is one of the most iconic monuments in Berlin that marked the entrance to the city of Berlin and symbolized peace. During the Cold War, the Brandenburg Gate was located in the eastern sector of Berlin, close to the Berlin Wall that divided the city. After the fall of the wall in 1989 and the subsequent German reunification in 1990, the Brandenburg Gate became a powerful symbol of national unity and reconciliation. Marrakesh, Morocco, known as the Red City for its ochre-colored buildings, is an iconic destination that attracts visitors from all over the world. Its vibrant heart is Jemma, Elfna Square, a bustling souk where snake charmers, musicians, spice sellers, and artisans converge. Hagia Sophia, located in Istanbul, Turkey, was originally built as a Christian church in 537 during the reign of Byzantine Emperor Justinian III. For nearly 1,000 years, it was the largest cathedral in the world and the spiritual center of the Byzantine Empire. In 1453, following the Ottoman conquest of Constantinople, Hagia Sophia was converted into a mosque by Sultan Mehmed II, where Christian mosaics were plastered over. And in 1935, under the rule of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, founder of the modern Republic of Turkey, Hagia Sophia was secularized and turned into a museum. The Charles Bridge in the Czech Republic is famous for being adorned with a series of Baroque statues. Along the Charles Bridge are 30 statues and sculptural groups, mainly of saints and religious figures, such as the statues of St. John, of Nepomuk, St. Lutgard, and St. Vitus. Marina Bay Sands is a stunning resort in Singapore that integrates a luxury hotel, a renowned casino, a sprawling shopping mall, and an infinity pool offering unparalleled panoramic views of the city. Its innovative design includes 3 hotel towers connected at the top by a platform known as the Sky Park. This platform houses an edge-to-edge infinity pool, one of the tallest in the world. Tokyo is home to several artificial islands, including Odaiba, a popular entertainment area. Odaiba is known for its famous Diver City Tokyo Plaza shopping mall, home to the impressive life-size Gundam statue, which attracts anime fans from around the world. It is also home to Team Lab Borderless, an interactive digital art museum offering a unique immersive experience. During her tenure as First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama not only played a prominent role in the political and social scene, but also left a significant impact through several important initiatives. One of the most notable was Let's Move, a national campaign designed to address the growing concern about childhood obesity in the country. One of the most endearing scenes in Lady and the Tramp is the one where the 2 dogs share a spaghetti noodle. What many don't know is that this scene was filmed with a real dog named Lady, who was the inspiration for the main character. The decision to use a real dog instead of a full animation was a brave move on the part of the creators, as they sought to capture the authenticity and emotional connection between the characters. The animators studied the dog's behavior to ensure that its movements and expressions were as natural as possible. Built in 1945, the ENIAC is considered the first general-purpose electronic computer. This technological colossus took up an entire room and consumed as much energy as an average house, with over 17,000 vacuum tubes. It was designed to perform complex calculations for the United States military, especially in the field of artillery. In Titanic, directed by James Cameron, one of the most memorable items is the necklace worn by Rose, known as the Heart of the Ocean. This necklace is not simply an accessory, it is a real piece of jewelry inspired by the famous Heart of the Ocean that belonged to Louis XV. In 1971, the first known computer virus was created by Bob Thomas and was called Creeper. This program displayed an on-screen message saying, "I'm the Creeper, catch me if you can," and spread through the ARPANET, the precursor to the internet. The film The Shining, directed by Stanley Kubrick, is famous for its haunting atmosphere and memorable performances. One of the most iconic lines, "Here's Johnny," was improvised by Jack Nicholson during one of the most intense scenes. Not only did this line become a highlight of the film, but it was also a direct reference to the television show The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. The first mobile phone was created by Martin Cooper in 1973. This monumental device weighed around 2.2 pounds and had a battery that only lasted 20 minutes of talk time. Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg, is considered one of the great films in film history especially for its innovative use of special effects. The dinosaurs in the film were created using a combination of animatronics, mechanical models, and computer-generated digital effects. This marked a turning point in how fantastic creatures could be depicted on screen. The first domain registered on the internet was symbolics.com, registered on March 15, 1985. This milestone marked the beginning of the era of web domains and the creation of a digital space where businesses and individuals could establish their presence. In The Little Mermaid, one of the most beloved characters is Ariel, whose voice was played by Jodie Benson. What's interesting is that Benson also voiced Barbie in several animated films. This versatile talent has allowed Benson to leave an indelible mark on both the world of film and popular culture. Moore's Law, formulated by Gordon Moore in 1965, predicts that the number of transistors on a microchip doubles roughly every 2 years. The famous scene where Neo dodges bullets in The Matrix is considered one of the most iconic moments in modern cinema. This sequence was filmed using special cameras that captured the action from multiple angles at the same time. This innovative approach made it possible to create a striking visual effect that has been imitated in numerous films since. Considered one of the first video games, Tennis for Two was created in 1958 by William Higginbotham. This simple game allowed players to simulate a tennis match on an oscilloscope. Zeus is the king of the gods in Greek mythology and is considered the ruler of Mount Olympus. The son of Cronus and Rhea, he had a rocky start as Cronus, fearing being overthrown, devoured each of his children at birth. However, Rhea managed to save Zeus by hiding him in a cave in Crete, allowing him to grow up and eventually free his siblings, which started a war between the gods and the Titans. The term Wi-Fi does not have a specific meaning. It is simply a trademark used to describe wireless networking technology. Although it is often confused with wireless fidelity, it is actually just a marketing term that has come to be synonymous with wireless connectivity. The first email was sent by Ray Tomlinson in 1971. The message was simply a set of random characters, but this act marked the beginning of a new era in digital communication. Hera is the goddess of marriage and family. She is often depicted as a jealous and vengeful figure due to Zeus' numerous infidelities, but she also symbolizes fidelity and commitment in marriage. She is the protector of married women and is associated with the cycle of family life. Poseidon, brother of Zeus, is the god of the sea, known for his trident, which symbolizes his dominion over the waters. As well as ruling the oceans, Poseidon is capable of causing earthquakes and storms, and his volatile temper makes him a feared figure. He is associated with horses, as he is said to have created them. Blockchain technology was introduced in 2008 by a person or group under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto as part of the Bitcoin protocol. Hades, brother of Zeus, rules the underworld, the realm of the dead. Although often associated with death and the macabre, Hades is not considered evil. He simply fulfills his duty of ruling over the deceased. His dwelling is guarded by Cerberus, the three-headed dog. 3D printers were invented in the 1980s. However, they did not become popular until the early 2000s. Athena, goddess of wisdom and just war, was born fully armed from the head of Zeus. Her unusual birth reflects her connection to intelligence and military strategy. The first operating system was GMNAAIO, created in 1956 for the IBM 704 computer. This pioneering software allowed users to interact with the computer and manage basic tasks. Launched in 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook began as a social network exclusively for Harvard students. Artemis, twin sister of Apollo, is the goddess of hunting, wild animals, and nature. She represents an ideal of female independence and strength, rejecting marriage and choosing to live freely in the woods with her nymphs. The first digital camera was invented by Stephen Sasson in 1975 and weighed around 8 pounds. This pioneering camera captured images with a resolution of just 0.01 megapixels. The first video game console, the Magnavox Odyssey, was released in 1972 as the first home video game console. The first web browser was created by Tim Berners-Lee in 1990 and was called World Wide Web, later renamed Nexus. Bluetooth is a technology that enables wireless connections between nearby devices. Its name comes from the Danish king Harald Bluetooth Gormson, who unified Denmark and Norway in the 10th century. The first smartphone, the IBM Simon, is considered to be the world's first smartphone, launched in 1990. The first laptop, the Osborne one, launched in 1981, is considered the world's first portable computer. It was so heavy that it had a handle and was considered portable. The first online social network was 6 Degrees, launched in 1997. It allowed users to create profiles and connect with friends. And this is all. Don't forget to subscribe for more Zarpado content.